Hey everyone, it's Lissette here. Welcome to my channel. For today's video, we are going to do a fun Halloween design. I did ask you guys in not the last video, the video before, to send me some ideas and some nail inspos when it came to shorter version nails using my stiletto nails that I have on the site. And I received this comment right here. First of all, thank you all of you who DM'd me, but I decided to go with this comment right here. This is from Jean Wilson. She says, I'm wearing a glow-in-the-dark skeleton costume. I wanted to do some bone nails. She needed my creative mind to figure out a design for her. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. As I was looking up these designs, when it came to bone nails, all you keep seeing popping up is this type of design. And this is just me like Googling really fast. They're all pretty the same and similar. You know me, I can't do the same thing that everybody else does. So we are gonna do something a little bit different. It's going to be bone themes, and y'all already know me, try to make it look a little bit pretty. So yeah, I hope you guys like this nail design, and let's just get started. Okay, so as I stated, we're gonna do these nails using the short stiletto nails that is on Lgnpro, which is my sides. We're gonna go in using the side lamp as well as my rubber base gel. You guys already know, if you've been following me for a while, this is my method of how I apply my tips. I don't like to use air dried glue, only because I feel like when I did use it, it would separate over time from the nail. This rubber base coat is extremely strong, and I've never had any like serious lifting with it. So again, this is my method, and this is how I've been doing it so far for I think it's going on a year so far. No complaints. But as you see, all I'm doing is I apply it to the entire surface of my physical nail plate, and then I adhere I flash cure the tip onto it really fast for at least like 5 to 10 seconds. Once I have all of them on, I do go ahead and put my hand in the full-size lamp for a full 60 seconds so it can fully cure. Once it's cured, I'm going in with the 180 nail file, and I'm just gonna file the sidewalls really fast. I'm not trying to make these points because they're already pointy, they're super pointy, but I'm literally focusing where I glue the tip to the nail, making sure it is not stuck on my skin. You know, the side walls are more tucked in, and it's just blended into the tip, well, to my nail plate. When it comes to the side walls, I don't go over the surface. For the surface, what I do like to do is I like to use my rubber base coat once again, and for that's when I apply that all the way from the top all the way down to the tip, and then I do go ahead and I cure that in place. This is pretty much just substituting the whole filing over the surface part, and literally this is going to help the hard gel that I'm going to apply stick to the physical tip, and you won't get any kind of separation. And this also allows you, if you wanted to soak off the hard gel, you will file the hard gel off, or soak off the nails, you will file the hard gel off to this layer, and then you will be able to soak these off. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 type of thing going on. For this design, I wanted to go in with In Bloom. I have not used this color in so long. It is like a neutral or natural like shimmer color inside of it. Super pretty. But again, all I'm doing is I'm going to apply this to the entire surface. I'm adding a thin layer first, then I take a larger amount and I float the larger bead on top. I don't cure that first slip layer. That's what I call it, a slip layer. Once you apply that thin layer, you leave it wet, don't cure it, and then you're able to take that larger amount, place it on top, and then this will allow you to build your apex, your structure. It has been so cold here in New York that my gel has been so stiff, but honestly, it kind of works to your advantage. You'll have more time to play with it, maneuver it. It won't flood your cuticles as fast if this is something that you are first learning. You know, colder, like if you want to chill your gel before using it, that'll help, you know, the gel not be so movable, more flexible, and it'll just stay put, you know, longer for you guys to work with it. But once I do this, I do go ahead, sometimes if I need to flip the finger over, I do flip it so gravity can, you know, work in my favor, bringing that gel more towards the center and then curing it in place. I'm gonna do this to all of the nails the same color, just building up that strength, building up the structure, the apex, and I do cure one at a time, one finger at a time, before moving on to the next one, because if you try to do like 2 nails at a time, you know, it is a possibility that your first nail will kind of like spread and go into your, you know, cuticle area and touch your skin, and that's something you don't want. So yeah, I'm just going to, like I said, apply this color to all of the nails. This is such a pretty color and has like the perfect glitter shimmer inside of it. Super pretty. But from there, I'm going in with my nail cleanser and I'm going to remove that sticky layer because we are going to go into filing. And then for filing, again, I'm going in with that 180 nail file. I'm going to focus on the side walls. Again, I don't really try to make these super pointy, but really just trying to perfect the shape, making sure these sides are good around that cuticle, going over the surface, making sure everything is smooth. That my application was really good, so there's not much that I really needed to do. But you guys know me, I'm like anal when it comes to stuff like this, so I do try to perfect it as much as, you know, I'm able to, or like what I think needs to be perfected. Making sure around that cuticle is nice and smooth. And then once I do that, I do go ahead and do the buffing side, the buffer. I buff over the surface, making sure I don't have any kind of scratches. I didn't need to use the drill, which is nice, but I hand filed everything. So to do this design, I wanted to go in and do these in 3D. So I took out this gel, and this is like that non-sticky molding gel. I don't really know what the exact words for it. I got this from Temu. I want to say this jar was probably like $1 or $2, super cheap. But I'm taking that and I'm just gonna go and roll like a little cylinder tube. And this didn't stick to my gloves at all, which was nice. I did need to go ahead and apply a thin layer of my rubber base gel to the surface, and I cured that in place. This little gel, that non-sticky gel thing, is not going to stick to the nail unless you have something like some tacky layer. So that's why I ended up putting the rubber base gel. For the pointer finger, I wanted to go ahead and do like a rib cage, and this wasn't as hard as I thought. Like the pinky and the middle nail was hard, you guys. Like I struggled, but with this one it wasn't as hard. I just did one of those little roly tubey things down the middle, and then I had 3 ribs branching off towards these sides. So this was pretty easy to do. I didn't cure it until I was fully satisfied with the entire placement. I was going to go ahead and cure the middle and then add the rest, but I was like, let me do it in one shot because I didn't want it to look like it was pieced together. I wanted it to look like it was one piece, if that made sense. But anyway, I kept, you know, moving it around until I was satisfied with the look of it. And then I did go ahead and just cure that in place. And this cured really fast, so I did do a full minute for this. For the next nail, I took out my Bling rhinestone gel. I applied that to the entire surface of the pinky because I wanted to add some silver chain. And this is not the, like, I do sell the packs of chains on my site, and this is like it's not gunmetal, it's the one lighter than gunmetal. I'm not sure what color that is, but I have a silver, I have a gunmetal one. This chain color is the one in between those two. If you have my Bling It pack chains, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just using that, and I'm gonna apply that and do a swirl down the center of the pinky. And then I take more of that molding clay and then I place that on top in little sections. I wanted this pinky to look almost like the spine. This nail was so freaking hard, you guys. It took me so long to do, but I thought, like I said, it would be fun and different if I had the spine with chain down the center and the bone kind of like wrapping around it. I thought it was different. I never seen anybody do it, and I wanted to do it, so why not, right? But I played with this, I want to say, for like a good half an hour just to make sure that I was somewhat satisfied with it. Even when I did finish, I still wasn't satisfied with it. But at some point, I just gave up and I just cured it in place. On to the middle nail. This was supposed to be the easiest, I thought, in my opinion. This is supposed to be a skull. It does look like a skull towards the end, but the fact that it didn't look or doesn't look how I wanted frustrates me, because I think I could have did this so much better. But I just take a large amount, I glob it right down the top middle part, kind of moving it around with my fingers. And then again, I just take that little silicone tool and I try shaping this skull face. And again, this was frustrating to me because I don't know, like, I think my proportions wasn't what I thought. I don't know, something was off and it was pissing me off. Kept trying to like maneuver it, but it wasn't coming out how I wanted. So this is another nail that I didn't want to just spend too much time on, because again, this was probably like another half an hour just trying to freaking sculpt the face on my nail, a skull. And yeah, I don't know, maybe his face was too flat and needed to be a little bit more 3D-ish. I don't know, you let me know what like is a good method to try to sculpt this. Anyway, I keep moving around. Once I was somewhat satisfied with it, this is another one that I just cured in place. All right, so this is what they is looking like when they are cured. Not bad, but they is looking a little too plain. So you guys know we have to make it look a little bit dingy. I took out the color staple. This is a hard gel color, and I decided to use this just to try to darken up and almost like dirty, make the nails look a little bit dirty. So I took this, I did use this little brush. I think this is another thing that I got from Temu, and I just took a little bit and I just started smudging that across the bones, trying to get into the little grooves and crevices. Again, trying to make it look a little bit more dingy and not so clean, I should say. I did at certain points, I felt like it was a little bit too much, so I did wipe away some and then I added some. So I kept doing that back and forth, adding it, removing it, adding it, removing it until I was satisfied, and then I cured it in place. For the ring and the thumbnail, I felt like that was a little bit too clean. So again, I just took some more of that gel and I placed that around the cuticle section, making it a little bit dingy. I did use my finger to tap it and kind of like smudge it. I thought that was like the easier process, but I did go ahead and I did it very lightly. I didn't want it to be full-blown black on the nail. Just a little bit grungy around the cuticle area and dirty, but once I did that, again, cured that in place. It's time for my favorite part, which is Bling, and I totally forgot to show you guys the Bling It box that I use, but I took out the no white rhinestone gel again, applied that to the entire surface, And then for the bling box, you guys already know I took out the jet and smoky topaz bling box, but of course I only used the jet side. And then I still had some black roses from the another set that I did, so I used some of those. I have this cross that I used. This one I think I got from Temu. I did use the crystals, and then I tried to add some chain, and I quickly realized I didn't like the chain, so I took the chain out. But again, once I was satisfied with that, I cured that in place. For the middle nail, which is the skull nail, I decided to wrap the nail around with some chain. I also used a flower underneath it with some crystals and then some black crystal eyes. I did end up finding these, they're like these little pointy spikes. I ended up incorporating that in the nails as well, just placing it where I thought, like I did it in the middle of the flower, and I do use it for the pointer nail. I thought that was really cool and different, and that's something else that I think I got from Temu. But again, once I was satisfied with that, I cured that. For the thumbnail, I did the same kind of concept as the ring nail. I did use some chain for this one. I used the black crystals, of course, a black flower, and then I found this black, well, it was like a gunmetal skull, which I thought was pretty cool. And as far as the pointer, like I said, I did add 2 little spikes, but then when it came to the pinky, I just left the pinky alone. I didn't feel like it needed anything else. Once I cured that, I went in with my shiny no wipe top coat and I went all over the surface. I did avoid the flower and the crystals, but as far as the chain, I went all over the chain just to make sure as well, one, everything was shiny, but also the chain wouldn't turn over time. I'm not sure if this colored chain turns, but just to be on the safe side, I just went over it anyway. And again, I just cured that in place. As I was curing it, I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I totally forgot. They're supposed to be glow in the dark. She did mention that. I found this in my drawer. This is something that I got from Shein years ago. No, I'm lying. It was Amazon. I got it so long ago. This is glow in the dark powder. I took some glow in the dark powder. I mixed that with my shiny no wipe top coat, and then I used my micro brush to apply that only to the physical bone pieces. I did do 2 coats of this because I think I didn't add enough powder. I'm not sure like what the ratio was supposed to be. You could have probably just added some top coat to the physical pieces and then poured the powder on. I decided to do it like this, just mixing the 2, and I felt like it was easier. But again, once I applied that to just the bone pieces, I cured that in place. All right, you guys, so this is the final look. I like it. Honestly, I feel like when it comes to the chain and like the black flowers and the crystals, I just think it helps the whole design because I wasn't too satisfied with the face. I really like it. I think they came out really pretty. This is what it looks like when there is light, and then I did go ahead and do it glow in the dark. I let it sit for a little while under the light. It looks so good, glow in the dark. I'm really happy with how this came out. Let me know what you guys think. I'm super pleased with it, and I hope, Jean, you approve of this nail design. DM me, girl, and let me know what you think. But let me know what you guys think of this nail design. If you have any other ideas, please go ahead and just DM me your thoughts, photos, inspos, even if it's just like one of those little collage pieces that you guys put together to try to figure out what to do. Really hope you guys enjoyed this nail design, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love ya.